I've served on city council for 6 years, and I love helping people. I grew up in Ann Arbor. I've lived here my whole life, and the great satisfaction of this job is when a resident calls and says, I need help. We're having trouble in the neighborhood with, we need a new stop sign, or figuring out how to deal with these speed bumps, or the house next door is vacant and the grass isn't being cut, and they're not sure who to call at City Hall, or maybe they've tried to call somebody and the service hasn't been what they had hoped for, and they call me as their elected official looking for help, and I can help them solve the problem. In general, Ann Arbor is in pretty good financial situation compared to other local governments like the county or the schools or even the state. We have a healthy rainy day fund. Our pension fund is close to 100% funded. We're investing in new infrastructure. Despite all those things, the next few years are going to be very challenging. We're going to see the first decline in property tax revenues that the city has ever seen in modern history. Revenue sharing from the state, which still makes up several $1,000,000 in our budget, could completely disappear. So the biggest issue facing the city is definitely the budget. That drives everything we do. Whether it's parks or roads or water, it's an issue of how do you pay for it. We're going to have to continue to work with organized labor. That's something I'm proud of. I have a very good relationship with organized labor, and I think that's an area where there's a big distinction between me and my opponents on that point, because organized labor represents 85% of our workforce, and personnel is one of our highest expenses. So if we want to continue to streamline government, make things more efficient, deliver high quality services, we've got to work with the labor folks. Regionalism is another big issue. We've got a lot of great regional initiatives with other governments underway. We're about to go to a regional fire dispatch system. We're opening up a new joint city-county information technology data center in the police courts building with Washtenaw County. We've got to keep pursuing these types of things because they can help continue quality service delivery, but hopefully do it at a lower cost. We have some problems with some of our zoning codes. A2D2 will help fix a lot of that. It'll put in pretty clear guidelines about what can go where. We'll have a strict height limit. That's something that I've supported for some time. I sponsored the height limit. That was approved by City Council. Steve Kunzelman has opposed the height limit vocally for years. So that's another significant area where he and I disagree. We've got to continue to recognize this city is going to grow. We're one of the 3, maybe only 2 economic engines in the state of Michigan. But we've got to make sure that the growth is balanced to protect neighborhoods, and I think I've done that by supporting the height limit, by supporting a transition zone in the South University area, by supporting changes to the R4C zoning code, where I'd like to see this loophole where you can put 6 bedrooms in a unit and call that a unit. I want to get rid of that. That's too many bedrooms. You shouldn't have that many in a unit. So there's still things we've got to do. There's always going to be things we can do to fix the zoning code. But we've got to recognize growth is going to happen. We've just got to decide how to balance it with neighborhoods. Every election is important because there's 11 people on the body, and so one person can make a significant difference. I feel that I've made a significant difference in my 6 years. I respect both of my opponents. Steve has a record of service. Luann is spending this campaign talking about substantive issues. I admire her for that, but we have very significant disagreements on some pretty important issues. And so just as every election is important, this one is important because the 3rd Ward continues to need someone who will put the time in to represent 3rd Ward people and help them solve the challenges they need, the challenges they face, and the things that they want solved. So absolutely this is an important election, and it's unfortunate that turnout is going to be very low, probably less than 15%. And so I hope people will remember to vote Tuesday, August 4th. Polls open at 7 a.m.